All right, let's just get right into it. We're going to tackle a pretty terrifying question today. What do you do if you're starting from absolute zero? I mean, no money, no connections, no assets, nothing. Just a totally blank slate.
It's kind of like starting a new video game. Almost every bit of financial advice out there assumes you've got something in your inventory when you start, right? Like a basic sword, maybe a map, a few gold coins. In the real world, that's your college degree, a small loan from family, or a useful connection. But for so many people, that inventory screen is just completely empty. And staring at that emptiness, it can be totally paralyzing. You just don't know where to click. But the blueprint we're going to walk through today is designed specifically to take that paralysis and turn it into a clear, actionable plan. So, you ready? Let's get into it.
So here's the game plan. First, we're going to look that blank inventory screen right in the face. Then, we'll reframe the entire problem, figure out our one point of leverage, juice it with AI, build ourselves a growth engine, and finally, we'll talk about the one secret ingredient that makes sure you're the last one standing.
Yeah, so this whole breakdown is based on a really specific framework. You can think of it as a step-by-step guide for someone who's basically dropped into the game of life today with absolutely nothing. And what I love about it is how, brutally practical it is.
Okay, so before you can even think about taking a single step, this blueprint says you have to completely rewire your brain. It's a fundamental mindset shift, and it has to happen before anything else. And here's the absolute core of it. If you think you have a money problem, you're basically waiting to be rescued. You're in a passive mode, hoping for a raise, a loan, some external thing to save you. But if you reframe it as a skill problem, suddenly you're back in the driver's seat. Because learning, that's something you can start doing right now, today, for free. The whole question flips from how do I get money to how do I become so valuable that money has no choice but to find me.
This right here, this is the entire paradigm shift. And look, it's a tough pill to swallow for sure. Why? Because it yanks away every single external excuse you have. It forces you to look in the mirror and accept that your situation isn't about what you lack, it's about what you haven't learned yet.
Okay, so you've accepted it's a skill problem. Great. Now what? What is the very first thing you do? The blueprint is super clear on this. You pick one high-income skill, and you go after it with an insane, singular focus.
So the guide throws out examples like these: copywriting, video editing, AI automation. And let's be real, those can just sound like a bunch of tech buzzwords, right? So what do they actually mean for someone who's starting from scratch?
Well, let's take AI automation. This does not mean you need a degree in computer science. Not at all. We're talking about using really simple, accessible tools, no-code stuff, to connect programs together and solve a real problem for a small business. Think about it. Setting up a system that automatically texts a new customer lead for a local plumber. That's it. It's totally achievable and it's valuable from day one.
And what about copywriting? This isn't about sitting in a cafe trying to write the next great American novel. Nope. It's a very specific commercial skill. It's about understanding the psychology, the structure, the exact words you put on a page or in an email that makes someone go, okay, I need that, and pull out their credit card. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Hold on, isn't it safer to diversify, to learn a little bit of everything? And look, it feels safer, for sure. But here's the harsh truth. Spreading yourself thin is a guaranteed ticket to being mediocre at everything. And the market does not pay for okay. It pays premium rates to the specialist, the expert who can solve one specific, painful problem. That one skill, that's your wedge. It's how you break in.
All right, so you've picked your one skill, you're focused. Now we're going to pour some gasoline on that fire. The next step is to bring in a massive catalyst to speed up your learning like crazy: AI tools.
And I absolutely love this way of thinking about it. Inefficiency today isn't a lack of resources anymore. It's a choice. It's a habit. The best way to think about AI is like a cognitive exoskeleton. Like in the movies. The suit can't do anything on its own. It needs a human pilot inside to steer it. But with that pilot, it can lift a steel beam. That's exactly what AI does for your brain and your skill. But okay, hold on. If everyone has access to this exoskeleton, then where's the advantage, right? Well, this is the really interesting part. Most people will use AI as an excuse to be lazy. They'll use it to do the bare minimum. The real advantage, the game changer, is using AI to go deeper, to do things that were physically impossible for one person before. You're not just saving an hour, you're using that hour to test 50 different ad headlines instead of 5, to analyze the data instantly, and to find insights that your competition will never see. That is the edge.
So, you've got your skill. You've got your AI exoskeleton amplifying it. Now it's time to actually get in the game and turn that power into cash. The next phase is all about getting that first client and making that very first dollar.
And the blueprint is crystal clear on this point. Do not wait until you feel ready. That is a trap. It's called the perpetual preparation trap. It feels safe, it feels productive, but you're just spinning your wheels. And I get it. You're worried you might not do a good job, but the safeguard is built right in. You start with super low prices to manage expectations. You're not promising the world.
This right here just brilliantly reframes the entire goal. That first bit of money, it's not the point. The money is secondary. You're not just earning 50 bucks. You are extracting priceless, real-world data from the market. You're learning how clients really talk, what a real deadline feels like, what they actually care about versus what they say they care about. You cannot get that kind of data from watching another YouTube video. No way.
And this is it. This is the loop where almost everybody fails. They get that first win, they make a little money, and bam, instant gratification takes over. They spend it on a new gadget, a nice dinner. It's like a farmer who finally grows an apple, and instead of planting the seeds to grow an orchard, they eat the seeds. They are literally consuming their own future. Now let's be practical. Of course, you have to survive, you have to pay your bills. The blueprint makes a really smart distinction here between survival capital, the money for rent and food, and growth capital. You take care of your basic needs, but every single dollar you make from this new skill that isn't for survival, it gets reinvested. Not into a nicer apartment, but into better tools, faster software, smarter courses. You're using money to buy back your own time and upgrade the machine that's making you the money in the first place.
So you've built the engine. It's this beautiful, logical machine, but it has one weakness. It only runs if the operator, that's you, keeps showing up every single day. And that brings us to the final piece of the puzzle, and it's 100% psychological. The source material makes this really bold claim. Most people don't fail because they have a bad strategy. They fail because they just quit.
And this analogy is just perfect. Think about it. When that first rush of excitement wears off, when you hit your first real roadblock and it gets hard, the temptation to just go back to what's comfortable and familiar is massive. It is so easy to just hit the snooze button. But you're not just snoozing your alarm. You're hitting snooze on the very life you're trying to build.
Just look at this. This whole game, it's not really about who's the most talented. It's a war of attrition. The crazy thing is, the vast majority of your competition will take themselves out of the race. They'll get frustrated, they'll get distracted by the next shiny new thing, and they'll just quit. Your ability to just endure becomes your ultimate secret weapon. And that's the real kicker. Someone with average skills, but who applies them with what this blueprint calls terrifying consistency, will, every single time, outlast the naturally gifted person who just can't be bothered to show up. The biggest obstacle you're ever going to face isn't the competition, or the economy, or anything else out there. It's the person staring back at you in the mirror.
So let's wrap it all up. Here's the 5-step blueprint. 1. Pick one high-income skill. 2. Strap on your AI exoskeleton to amplify it. 3. Get out there and earn fast to get that crucial market data. 4. Reinvest every spare dollar back into your capabilities. And 5. Just outlast everyone else with pure, simple consistency. You see, it's a system that's designed to remove every single external excuse.
And I want to leave you with one final thought to chew on, something a little provocative. Everything we've talked about is focused on mastering a technical skill. But what happens when AI gets so good that it can do all the technical stuff perfectly, when it can write the code, edit the video, do the analysis better than any human? What's left? Just imagine a future where the only thing that's truly scarce, the only thing that can't be automated, is our ability to be human, the ability to build trust, to really connect with someone, to forge a genuine relationship. So as you're planning your first move from absolute zero, maybe think about this. What if the ultimate high-income skill isn't technical at all? What if it's just learning how to be a better human,